parents refused to let me sleep with the closet door cracked open. It has to be fully closed or fully open. I just found out the horrifying reason why. Every night of my childhood, the same routine. Dad would check the closet, then either shut it completely or swing it wide against the wall. Never in between, never cracked. If I left it cracked during the day, Mom would fix it immediately. If guests left a closet cracked, she'd excuse herself and quietly close it. I asked about it constantly growing up. The answers were always vague. It's just how we do things. Doors should be one way or the other. I assumed it was OCD, some quirk I'd inherited since I found myself doing it too. Fully open or fully closed, never cracked. Last weekend, I was helping Mom clean out the attic. Dad passed 3 years ago. She's finally sorting through his things. I found a box labeled with a name I didn't recognize. Daniel. Who's Daniel? Mom stopped moving. She stared at the box like it might catch fire. Your brother. The attic went silent. I'm an only child. I've always been an only child. I don't have a brother. You did. For 11 years. She sat down on an old trunk and motioned for me to sit beside her. Then she told me everything. Daniel was born 4 years before me. Happy kid, bright, loved soccer and comic books. But around age 9, something changed. He started having dark thoughts, hiding from the world. The doctors called it childhood depression. He had this thing he did when it got bad, Mom said. He'd go into his closet and sit with the door cracked. Not closed because he was scared of the dark. Not open because he wanted to hide. Just cracked. Enough light to see. Enough shadow to disappear. She wiped her eyes. We'd find him in there after school sometimes, knees pulled to his chest, just sitting in that sliver of darkness. He said the crack felt like him. Not quite in the light, not quite in the dark. Stuck somewhere in between. They got him help, therapy, medication, good days and bad days. The closet became a signal. When the door was cracked, Daniel was struggling. When it was open or closed, he was okay. The night before you were born, I was in the hospital. Dad was home with Daniel. He was 11. He seemed fine, better than he'd been in months. He hugged Dad goodnight and said he was excited to meet his baby sister. Her voice broke. Dad checked on him at midnight. The closet door was cracked, but Daniel wasn't sitting inside this time. She couldn't continue for a moment. I held her hand and waited. He'd been planning it for weeks. He wrote us a letter, said he didn't want to be stuck in the crack anymore, said he wanted us to focus on the new baby, said he was sorry he couldn't get better. I couldn't breathe. A brother I never knew. A tragedy that happened hours before I was born. You came into the world the same morning he left it. Dad was at the hospital holding you while the police were at our house. I didn't find out until after you were born. He just held you and cried, and I thought they were happy tears. She looked at me with 23 years of hidden grief. After the funeral, Dad couldn't look at closet doors anymore. If they were cracked, he'd see Daniel. That sliver of darkness where our son used to hide. He'd freeze completely. She took a shaky breath. So we made a rule. Fully open or fully closed. Never cracked. It was the only way we could survive. Why didn't you tell me? Because you were our second chance. Our reason to keep going. We didn't want you growing up in the shadow of what happened. We wanted you to have a childhood without that weight. She opened the box. Inside were photos. A boy with my father's eyes and my mother's smile. Daniel at soccer games. Daniel blowing out birthday candles. Daniel holding a sign that said, Big Brother loading, with an arrow pointing at Mom's pregnant belly. The last photo was dated 2 days before he died. He was grinning at the camera, holding a stuffed elephant. He picked that out for you, Mom said. He was so excited to meet you. He talked about teaching you soccer, reading you comics, building blanket forts together. She pulled the elephant from the box. Worn but clean. Preserved for 23 years. I've been keeping this until you were ready. He wanted you to have it. I held the elephant against my chest and cried for a brother I never got to know. A boy who was stuck in the crack and couldn't find his way out. That night I looked at every closet in my apartment. All of them fully closed or fully open. A habit I'd inherited without understanding why. I finally understand now. Every time my parents adjusted a closet door, they were saying goodbye to Daniel. Every time they pushed it open or pulled it shut, they were closing the crack he got lost in. Some rules aren't about superstition. They're about survival. I keep the elephant on my nightstand now. I talk to Daniel sometimes. Tell him about my life. The sister he never got to meet. I always make sure the closet is fully closed before I speak. He spent too long in the crack. I won't make him visit it again.